Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you how low Bitcoin and Ethereum can actually go if this bloodbath continues. So let's get to the charts. And so we'll start out on the Bitcoin one-day chart on Binance. And as you can see, we're experiencing quite a lot of blood in the streets. Now, a couple days ago when we were looking at this very chart, we were on this candle here, and we were looking for 43,000 to hold the line. Well, the following day, it did not. We actually closed right below 43,000, and then today's candles, shortly after that close, actually sold off all the way down to 30,000. Now, if you'll recall, we had the Fibonacci retracement tool dropped in, and we were looking at this 43,000 as support, and then our next level of support was down here at the 1272 level. And so the next level in the video I discussed would be this 1618 level, somewhere between 30 and 32,000. Well, it came down exactly to 30,000 and has since rejected pretty strong. We have a pretty good rejection from this level. The issue is this is over a 50% sell-off, and that is not good news for the bulls. The bears are now firmly in control. However, if we can hold above the 38,000 level, we could see a recovery back up into the 43,000, which may end up acting as resistance, or 46,000, which could also act as resistance. After that, our next targets would probably be 50,000 as a psychological resistance, and then breaking back above 53,000. We are a long way away from 59 to 60,000 at this point in time, and the trend, as you can see, has truly turned over, and right now the bears are in control. So with that being said, we need to look at the downside from here. And so if we break the 38,000 level, we are looking at a possible return back down into the 32 to 30,000 range. Now, if 30,000 breaks, the next level of support I actually see is going to be 22,000. And that is way back here. We see a little bit of support. It's not necessarily strong support. It's not very recent. And the longer this support occurred back on the chart, the less weight it actually carries. You know, price memory does start to fade over time. Now, as you can see back on the chart where the 32 and 30,000 level was prior support or resistance, and it did take effect. So it is possible that 22,000 level would kick in for support. And so I will be keeping an eye on the 30,000 level. If that breaches, then I think we move down to somewhere around 22,000 looking for support. Now, with that all being said, there still are trading opportunities. There's opportunities to go long. There's opportunities to go short. If we jump over to Bybit, you can actually trade BTC USDT perpetual futures with leverage, and you could actually open a short position if you think Bitcoin's going to roll back over. And what you might do, rather than just jumping in at a certain point, you might set up what is called a conditional order, and the conditional order will wait for a trigger price, and once that trigger price is hit, and then it will look to enter the market on your short in this case. So if 38,000 fails to hold, you might have a trigger price at 37,409, and you want to go ahead and enter with a limit order at that 37,409. Now, due to the volatility in the market, you definitely want to set up your sell short with take profit and stop loss levels. And you could do your take profit level at, say, 100%, which would mean the price goes down to 36,978. And in reality, that's not that far for the price to travel if it does actually start to break down. But more importantly, you need that stop loss in place. And you can choose like a 5% stop loss or a 10% stop loss. And the key with these stop losses in this volatile kind of market is you want to get out as fast as possible if you're wrong. You don't want this price to break the 38,000 level and then run up to 40,000. You want it to break and go down. you don't want to mess around. So at a 10% stop loss level, that'd be 37,452, which you see isn't very far from my 37,409. On a short position, I want to see it drop and drop fast. Now you could flip that around and do the same thing for a long position. We are seeing 40,000 setting up kind of as a resistance level. You might flip that around and do a long if we get above 40,500. If we do that, then you could look for a run up into the 43,000, which will probably be your next level of resistance. So you could do a conditional order on the long side if you wanted to. So if you're looking to trade with leverage, I'll drop a link to Bybit in the description down below. They've got a ton of sign-up bonuses. Now, with that being said, the risk of trading crypto futures is substantial. The high degree of leverage can result in substantial losses. You should carefully consider whether trading crypto futures is suitable for you in light of your risk tolerance and financial conditions. I by no means recommend trading with leverage if you're new to crypto trading. A lot of people got wrecked on this sell-off, and it's because they were leveraged and they did not manage their leverage positions very well. Now, you also need to keep in mind that that stop-loss level doesn't mean your order is going to get filled there. It could be much lower than that level. So that's why I generally go with a really tight stop-loss. So if I don't get out exactly at my level, the probability the price won't get too far away from me. Now let's jump back to the Bitcoin chart and just recap where our target levels are. So on the downside, we are certainly looking for 38,000 to hold. Then we're looking at somewhere between 32 and 30. 30 is our bottom on this particular candle wick. So we certainly want to see 30 hold. So 38, 32, and 30. Now on the way up, 40,000 will be a psychological level for us to get back above. And so after 40,000, 43,000 could act as resistance since it has been prior support. It was prior support here and prior support back here. And sometimes prior support turns into resistance. And so the next target for me after 40,000 would be 43,000. Then we start getting back into the Fibonacci levels of like 48,000, 50,000, and 53,000 acted like support for a pretty long time. So that could be pretty strong resistance. So for the upside, we're looking at 40, 43, probably then 50 psychological, and then 53. There's really no point in talking about 60,000. As we have sold off just around currently 40%, and if we go down the bottom, the wick, we're more like around 54%. So Bitcoin has a lot of work cut out for it to get back up to its all-time high. Right now, it's got 40%, which is actually very doable. So let's jump over to the Ethereum chart. And in my previous video, now if you missed those previous videos on my price targets, a lot of them have been very accurate. You might want to shoot that subscribe button now so you don't miss out on the future price target videos that I'll be releasing. So as you can see, we had the Fibonacci retracement tool dropped in, and we were actually watching this candle looking for it to hold above the 786 or the 3200 range, and it actually did close above and actually closed pretty much right on my downward trend line, which kept it within the trend line. And then the next day, actually, we had a decent candle. We actually got some movement back up towards previous resistance, which is a level we were looking at. And so we were looking for it to move back to this level, and it actually breached above and then pulled back. Unfortunately, today's candle sold off, and not only did it sell off, it breached every level we were watching and broke down into the 1888 level, which was not even a target on our radar. And so ETH, from its all-time high, has basically sold off over 50%. We're looking at probably close to 55 or 56%. Now, as you can see, it has recovered and bounced back much like Bitcoin has. However, we haven't even made it back above the 382 level, which was our bottom target if we were to break down. If we were to break down, we were looking at the 618 at 3,000. Then we were looking at around 2,800, and then we were looking at the 382 at around 2,600. So right now, in reality for ETH, the lower limit target prices that I have would be 2,400, the 2,200, which is back when this run up actually pretty much started, is right around the 2,200, and then obviously down here around 1,900. So we're looking at 24, 22, and 1,900, and right now ETH is showing me no signs of wanting to push on up. Bitcoin seems to be recovering a little stronger right at the moment than ETH. Now, ETH at times has recovered stronger than Bitcoin, so they're kind of going back and forth. Now, for the upside targets, we have some work to do, but for starters, the first one's going to be the 382, which is right around 2,700. The next level would be around 2,850. And then the 618 level is 3,000. And if we do get back above the 3,000, then more than likely this 3,200 that was prior support back in these areas is probably going to become resistance. And so 3,200 would be resistance. And then obviously back up here around 3,500 where we had resistance, that would still more than likely be resistance. So on the way down, we're watching 24, 22, and 19. And on the way up, we're looking to get above 2,700, around 2,850, 3,000, and then above 32 and changed. That's really the targets I have for lower and upper on ETH. Now, in closing, I will point out, if ETH breaks through this 1,700 level, which was prior support back in this area, the next level of support's 1,400. Just so you know, and maybe put that on your radar. So you could do the similar trade setups over on Bybit that we discussed for Bitcoin. You could do the same type of thing for ETH. If we break down through 2,200 again, you might have a target, or you might put a long range conditional order under 1,700. If that level breaks, we're more than likely going down to 1,400. There's some opportunities there. On the flip side, if we get back above and start coming up, you could start going long. If we get above the 618 and hold above the 3,000, you might want to go long. Keep those stop losses tight. I know there's a whole lot of new traders out there that didn't have stop losses. And again, if you don't use a stop loss, that's like going into battle without armor, and you're going to get killed. So on that note, if you like the video, do me a favor, spike a like. Be sure to shoot that subscribe button. I will be doing more of these type of videos in the very near future. If you have questions or comments, drop those in the comment section down below. I will drop a link to Bybit in the description down below. And in closing, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.